Guys, welcome back to the channel. Um, Today I wanted to do a part one of, or I guess the beginning of a series of my journey with mental health. And I wanted this to be the beginning of understanding, how I got to where I am today. And we want to create like a playlist out of these types of videos to kind of talk about like things that happened back then, things that are happening now, and things that are going to be going on in the future, and just so you guys can see like how we got to be who we are, what we learned, and things like that. Also, if you hear my dogs in the background, I apologize. But since you can see two of them very clearly, this is Fang, that's Nyx, and behind Nyx is another one, and I have my cat over there, and I have two dogs over here. So if you hear noise, it's probably from them. Our mental health story started probably when we were about 7. We grew up on the east coast of Canada, and when we were 7 years old, my mom got a job offer, and so we moved from the east coast to the west coast in Canada. And that was a very big deal because, it's a big move, and moving is scary regardless of your age. And so we had to learn how to, not be with all of these friends and family that we had grown so close to and attached to over all of these years. And at this point in time, I had some friends that I would talk to on a regular basis, and it was a lot of fun. And I was in first grade when we moved. So I had to leave all my friends and everything in order to move, which was very scary and difficult. So we moved, and everything went okay. We quickly got settled. Everything kind of like got better, and we like moved on with our lives now that we had moved. And so we had moved in May, and so we were starting another school year in September. And I remember getting ready to go for school, and I was very badly bullied for most of my school years. It did get better in high school. Thankfully, when I was in about 9th or 10th grade, was when I had a very solid friend group that I was lucky enough to have stay with me until I graduated. But I was badly bullied. A lot of it was from my eye, because one of my eyes is not level with the other one. My left eye is not level. And unfortunately, kids pick on or point out things that they don't know. And it made me very insecure. And I didn't like going to school because of that. And I remember, I would tell my parents that I was being bullied, and they went to like talk to the principal and everything, and there was nothing that was done about it. So I remember that after we finished that school year, the following year we switched schools, and that was the school that I stayed at from 3rd grade till 7th grade. And at that school I was also bullied, unfortunately. I don't make friends very easily, and a lot of kids found me annoying, which I still have issues with now. And so now I'm very nervous around new people because I don't want to bother them with what I have to say and everything like that. And so it's still stuck with me even all these years later. Like I was like 7, or no, I was like 8 years old by the end of grade 3, and I am now turning 22, and like it's still it's 14 years, 14 years ago, and it still affects me now. Um, and that year was a very difficult year. Trigger warning here, we're going to talk about the loss of a family member. Um, when I was 8 years old, my grandmother passed away of lung cancer. And my grandmother was the closest person to me. She was probably, and still is, the most influential person that I've ever had in my life. And I'm really grateful to my parents for, always giving me and my sister the chance to have an amazing relationship with all of our family members. And I was very close to her when she died. And so when that happened, it kind of struck us at our core. And I think that that's when a lot of the splitting of our altars really started. We think that there was some in our infancy because we had a lot of medical issues that even to this day I don't completely understand, but we were in and out of the hospital a lot. And we think that there's a lot of our littles, especially, that come from there. And, we were always held in isolation and everything because of how sick we were when we were in the hospital. We think that has a large role with it. We also had a lot of run-ins with dying when we were in infancy because of how sick we were. And we definitely think and have been told by therapists and stuff that was a very traumatic experience that we don't know how to understand, especially because of how young we were when it happened. It's too difficult to process because of our age. But when we were 8, Vavo, our grandmother, passed away, and that was probably the most pivotal moment that I've ever had in my life, because I didn't know what I had just lost. But as I got older, it festered into a lot of negative issues and emotions that I didn't know how to deal with. Another trigger warning, mentions or discussions of suicide and self-harm. When I was 8 years old, that was the very first time that I ever thought about suicide. I didn't know that that's what it was. I just remember thinking, like, Vo's gone. Maybe if I died, even though I really didn't understand the concept of death at all, because no person at that age, does or should understand what that even means. But there was a part of me that understood that, like, she wasn't going to come back, and so, if I went to wherever she was, then we would never have to be apart. And that was the first time that I, in some form, thought of suicide, because then at least I would be able to be with her, because I would be where she is now. And that was really scary, and I didn't understand what I was thinking or what was going on. I now know that was 2 of my altars were formed definitively when that happened, and they carry a lot of the guilt and the anger that follows her passing. And that's honestly the beginning of where it all started for us, was the loss of her. And we just started really struggling from then on. And the bullying of us having, or myself having a bad eye and needing hearing aids, and having a teacher have to wear a microphone during classes so that I could understand her. And it was all those things kind of adding up slowly that just made for a very unbalanced mental state, and I just didn't learn that until I was a lot older. That's it for this video. Thank you for listening. We will definitely make another one kind of continuing on from when we got older. We just don't want to put it all into one video and kind of bombard everybody with a lot of information. But that was definitely a huge turning point in our lives when we were 8, or when the body was 8, I should say. And if anyone has any questions, you can always DM us on Instagram and leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are at the Puzzle System, and we will see you later. Bye, guys.